you are exhausted. Not from the hours, though they are undeniably long. Not from the physical labor or the mental complexity of your daily tasks. You are exhausted from the silent, crushing weight of a mathematical error you do not even realize you are making. There is a quiet, rotting resentment building inside you, manifesting every time you look at your bank account, every time you end a client call, every time you sit in a meeting watching someone of lesser intelligence command greater respect. You walk into negotiations, boardrooms, and relationships carrying an invisible book. Let us call it the moral ledger. In this ledger, you meticulously record every sacrifice you make, the weekends you surrendered to a project, the difficult clients you pacified with a smile, the times you bit your tongue to preserve the fragile peace of the room, the unpaid, unacknowledged emotional labor you consistently provide to keep the machinery of your workplace or your business running smoothly. You believe, at a fundamental, almost subconscious level, that the universe is auditing this ledger. You believe that your employer, your clients, and the market are keeping track of your goodness. You operate under the quiet assumption that if you just endure enough stress, if you carry enough of the team's weight, if you remain fiercely and blindly loyal, a reward will eventually balance the scales. You are waiting for your quiet suffering to be redeemed by a sudden windfall of respect, compensation, or unprecedented loyalty. It will not. The universe is not keeping score. The market is entirely blind to your moral ledger. The power structures you operate within, no matter how friendly the corporate branding or how warm the client relationship, keep only one set of books: the leverage ledger. 500 years ago, a disgraced diplomat in Florence sat down in exile to write a manual about this exact misalignment. Niccolo Machiavelli is remembered today as the patron saint of villains, a cartoonish caricature of deceit and betrayal, but that is a profound, adolescent misreading of his work. Machiavelli did not write to make men evil. He wrote to cure men of their delusions. He wrote to teach men how to see the chessboard exactly as it is, rather than how the church, the state, or polite society told them it should be. Machiavelli understood that society operates on a dual language system. There is the language of morality, which is taught to the masses to keep them predictable, manageable, and obedient. And there is the language of leverage, which is spoken exclusively by those who actually design the systems. You have been deeply, thoroughly conditioned to confuse morality with utility. From childhood, you were taught that being agreeable, patient, and endlessly accommodating makes you a good person, and perhaps, in the vacuum of a perfectly just world, it does. But in the architecture of power and economics, being endlessly accommodating does not make you good. It makes you consumable. Look at the architecture of your own career right now. You watch people with half your baseline competence and a fraction of your work ethic ascend rapidly. You watch them leave the office at 5 o'clock without a trace of guilt. You watch them dictate terms, demand higher fees, and receive them without a flinch or a moment of hesitation. You call them arrogant. You tell yourself they are lucky, or perhaps borderline sociopathic. You comfort yourself by thinking they are playing a dirty, unsustainable game. But are they? Or are they simply playing the only game that actually exists, while you are playing a game that was invented to keep you docile? The system you exist in is beautifully, ruthlessly efficient. It is designed to scan the environment for reliable, highly moral people and extract maximum value from them for the lowest possible cost. This is not a conspiracy, it is simply physics. Water flows to the path of least resistance, and capital extracts from the path of least friction. When you absorb a crisis without asking for a raise, when you undercharge for a service because you feel bad for the client, the system does not view this as a noble sacrifice. It views it as a newly established baseline. You have just proven, empirically, that your discomfort is cheaper than their capital. You have taught them that you are willing to subsidize their profit margin with your own mental health. Machiavelli observed that rulers who relied entirely on being loved, who tried to be all things to all people, were consistently destroyed by those who understood structural necessity. Love, appreciation, and gratitude are feelings. They are ephemeral. They are entirely subject to the changing moods of the public, the fluctuating budget of an employer, or the whims of a client. Leverage, however, is gravity. It works whether they like you or not. Goodness, when deployed without leverage, is not a virtue, it is voluntary servitude. You are choosing to hand over the keys to your financial and emotional stability to people who have absolutely no incentive to protect either. You are playing a game of morality in an arena built for leverage, and then acting surprised when you are bleeding. The people at the top of your industry are not necessarily smarter than you. They simply woke up from the illusion of the ledger sooner than you did. They realize that waiting to be noticed is a strategy for prey. They realize that compensation is not a gold star handed out by a benevolent teacher for good behavior. Compensation is a mathematical reflection of how difficult it would be to replace you. Nothing more, nothing less. You must burn the moral ledger today. You must accept the dark, incredibly liberating truth that nobody is coming to reward you for your silent endurance. Your sacrifices are not earning interest in some cosmic bank account. They are simply evaporating into the atmosphere, breathed in by people who are structurally positioned above you. The moment you stop waiting for fairness, you stop being a victim of it. You stop wondering why you aren't being treated right, and you start asking a much colder, much more effective question. What exactly are the mechanics of my current position, and how much would it cost them if I stopped participating? There is a specific kind of vanity that keeps highly intelligent people broke, exhausted, and stuck. It is not the vanity of appearance. It is the vanity of competence. You take immense quiet pride in your ability to handle chaos. You are the fixer, the reliable one. The person who can take a half-baked idea from a disorganized manager or a frantic client and quietly turn it into a finished product. You catch the falling plates before they shatter. You patch the holes in the ship while everyone else is asleep. You tell yourself this makes you indispensable. You tell yourself that by being the absolute backbone of the operation, you are securing your future. You are not building a kingdom, you are building a cage, and you are locking yourself inside it. Welcome to the competence curse. In any corporate structure, any freelance market, and any business partnership, the reward for doing good work quickly is inevitably, flawlessly, more work. The system does not look at your extreme efficiency and think, we should pay this person double. The system looks at your efficiency and thinks, we no longer need to hire a second person. You believe your competence is a weapon you are using to conquer your environment. Actually, it is a tracker the environment uses to hunt you. When you consistently operate at maximum capacity, when you answer the Sunday evening email, when you effortlessly absorb the scope creep on a project, when you do the job of 3 people just to ensure the standard remains high, you trigger a fascinating psychological mechanism in the people around you. You remove their anxiety, and humanity is addicted to the removal of anxiety. Once you establish yourself as the person who will always step in to prevent a disaster, you become the designated shock absorber for everyone else's incompetence. They stop planning ahead because they know you will rush in to cover the deadline. They stop managing their budgets because they know you will quietly do the extra revisions for free rather than cause a scene. You think you are being the glue that holds the project together. But the glue is invisible. The glue gets walked on. The glue is never invited to sit at the head of the table. Machiavelli observed a fundamental truth about human nature that applies perfectly to the modern economy. Men are far more likely to exploit those they rely upon than those they fear. Why? Because relying on someone implies a baseline assumption of their continued complement. If you have always been reliable, if you have always smiled through the stress, the system assumes you enjoy the burden. It assumes your capacity for punishment is limitless. Think about the draft horses of the Industrial Revolution. The strongest horse in the stable was not given more rest. The strongest horse was given the heaviest cart. It was fed just enough oats to ensure it could pull the load again tomorrow, but it was never, under any circumstances, given ownership of the farm. If you are highly competent but incapable of enforcing boundaries, you are simply the strongest horse in the stable. You are a beast of burden, and the market loves a beast of burden. The trap here is entirely psychological. You continue to catch the falling plates because doing so feeds your ego. It feels incredibly validating to be needed. When the crisis hits and everyone turns to you, there is a momentary high, a rush of significance. You mistake this momentary dependence for long-term leverage. But what happens when compensation is discussed? What happens when promotions are handed out? Suddenly, the narrative shifts. You are told you are too critical to your current department to be moved up, or the client tells you they love your work, but they just can't stretch the budget this quarter. The truth is, they cannot afford to promote you or pay you more, because doing so would disrupt the incredible bargain they are currently getting. You are too cheap and too effective to be allowed to ascend. This is where the paradigm must violently shift. You have spent your entire adult life asking yourself the wrong question. You wake up every day and ask, how can I prove my worth today? How can I show them I am valuable? That question is the anthem of the exploited. It implies that your value is inherently zero until you perform an action to raise it. It keeps you in a perpetual state of auditioning for the approval of people who need you more than you need them. You must replace that question with the only one that dictates actual financial and structural power. What would it cost them to replace me? Leverage is not about what you can do for them. Leverage is about what happens to them if you stop. If you are currently the person who prevents the fires, you have a structural problem. Nobody values fire prevention. They only value firemen once the house is already burning. If you always silently prevent the disaster, the people above you do not believe a disaster was ever possible. They think the system is running smoothly on its own. To break the competence curse, you must learn the dark art of strategic unavailability. You must allow a few plates to shatter on the floor. This terrifies you. The thought of letting a deadline slip, or allowing a chaotic manager to face the consequences of their own poor planning, makes your chest tight. Your conditioning screams at you that you will be fired, ruined, or despised. But watch what happens when you calmly, professionally, step back. The Friday afternoon crisis arrives. Instead of canceling your evening, you state, without apology, without a long, nervous explanation, that you are unavailable until Monday morning and you sign off. The first time you do this, there will be shock. There may even be anger. They will scramble. They will panic. The plate will hit the floor. But on Monday, a profound psychological shift will have occurred. The invisible labor you have been doing for years will suddenly become visible. The friction you have been absorbing will be felt by the people who are actually paid to manage it. They will realize, perhaps for the first time, the structural reality of your absence. They will realize what it actually costs to run the machine without you. You do not build leverage by doing more work. You build leverage by occasionally reminding the system of the gravity of your absence. You must engineer the gap. Competence is only a weapon if you are willing to sheath it. If your competence is constantly active, constantly available, and constantly free, it is not a weapon at all. It is a utility, like electricity or running water. People only pay attention to the water bill when the tap runs dry. It is time to turn off the tap, not in anger, not in rebellion. but with the quiet, cold calculation of a professional who knows exactly what their horsepower is worth on the open market. You must transition from being the glue that holds their chaotic empire together to being the architect of your own. And architects do not do the heavy lifting. They draw the lines, they set the boundaries, and they determine the cost. Let us examine the exact moment your power dissolves. It does not happen in a boardroom ambush, and it does not happen when a contract is formally rejected. It happens in the quiet, isolated space between your mind and your keyboard. You have to trace your rates. Or perhaps you are preparing to tell a manager that a specific request falls entirely outside the scope of your salary. You open the email, you type the new number, you state the boundary, and then your nervous system stages a revolt. Your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow. A profound chemical panic washes over you, insisting that if you send this message exactly as it is written, you will be perceived as arrogant. You will be labeled difficult. The relationship will burn, and you will be left with nothing. So you begin to type. You add a softening introductory sentence. You write a paragraph explaining why. Your rate's inflation, the cost of software, the extra hours you've been putting in. You offer a slight discount if they lock in a longer contract. By the time you finally hit send, your clear, powerful boundary has been diluted into a nervous, desperate apology. You have just paid a massive tax to your own childhood conditioning. You were raised to view friction as a failure. You were taught that a successful interaction is one where everyone leaves smiling, where no one is uncomfortable, and where your own desires are seamlessly folded into the needs of the group. You have been trained to associate the word difficult with danger, but in the architecture of wealth and leverage, being difficult is not a character flaw. It is a filtering mechanism. It is the cost of entry to the upper tiers of any industry. You must understand that the market does not share your nervous system's fear of friction. The market is entirely neutral. It is simply probing for the path of least resistance. When a client pushes back on your price, or an employer casually asks you to work the weekend, they are not staging a personal attack. They are running a diagnostic test. They are checking the structural integrity of your boundaries. If your wall collapses at the first gentle push, they will simply step over it. Why wouldn't they? To survive this, and to thrive within it, you must adopt the binary operating system that Machiavelli famously attributed to the ultimate strategist. You must learn the distinct, separate currencies of the fox and the lion. Most people fail at negotiation because they choose one animal and use it for every scenario. They either act exclusively as the lion, puffing out their chest, being overly aggressive, mistaking volume for authority, and burning bridges before the deal is even signed, or they act entirely as the fox, hinting, suggesting, trying to use charm to avoid ever having to look the other party in the eye and demand a specific number. Both extremes are forms of poverty. The fox must always come first. The fox is the master of intelligence gathering. The fox does not roar, the fox observes. When a prospective client tells you, "We just don't have the budget for that number," your untrained mind panics. You immediately assume the deal is dead, or you instantly begin slashing your price to save the relationship. The fox, however, hears a completely different sentence. The fox knows that budget constraints are almost never a mathematical reality. They are a psychological opening move. When they say they lack the budget, what they are usually saying is, "You have not yet convinced me that the pain of paying your fee is less than the pain of solving this problem myself." Or, even more commonly, "I want to see if you actually believe you are worth this amount." And how do you respond? The fox does not argue. The fox does not pull out a spreadsheet to justify the cost. The fox asks a calm, diagnostic question. "I understand. If the budget is strictly capped, which parts of the project scope would you like to remove?" Do you see the elegant violence of that maneuver? You have completely bypassed the emotional conflict. You have not lowered your value. You have simply agreed to reduce their volume. The fox controls the frame by remaining emotionally unattached to the outcome. But intelligence gathering is only half the equation. Once the terms are clear, once the boundaries have been tested, the fox must step back. It is time for the lion. The velvet dagger version of the lion has nothing to do with aggression. True power is completely quiet. The lion is not the man who yells across the boardroom table. The lion is the man who states his terms, leans back, and is perfectly comfortable letting the silence suffocate the room. The most expensive mistake you make in your professional life is the belief that you owe people an explanation for your value. You do not. Every additional word you speak after stating your price is a crack in the foundation. It is an invitation for the other party to find a seam and pry it open. When you justify your rate with a story about your rising rent, you are signaling to the other person that you need them to agree with your reasoning. You are asking for their emotional validation. The moment they sense you need their validation, they know exactly how much of your margin they can take for free. The lion states the number, and then the lion closes its mouth. Silence is the heaviest currency in any negotiation. It is a physical weight. Most people have never been trained to tolerate the acute discomfort of an unresolved silence. Their nervous systems will force them to start talking just to relieve the tension in the room. Watch what happens when you state your price and simply stop speaking. The other person will flinch. They will shift in their chair. And if you can hold your nerve, if you can sit completely still inside that agonizing 10-second void, they will almost always negotiate against themselves. They will fill your silence with a better offer, a compromise, or an immediate acceptance that you would never have achieved if you had kept babbling. This is the currency of friction. You must train your body to stop treating professional friction as a biological threat. The tightness in your chest when you say no is not a signal that you are doing something wrong. It is simply the sensation of weakness leaving your posture. It is the growing pains of a new, colder, far more effective identity. You are not being mean. You are not being unethical. You are simply refusing to be inexpensive, and once you realize that people respect the unyielding wall far more than they respect the welcome mat, you will never apologize for your price again. You have learned to build the wall. You have learned the cold mechanics of the fox and the quiet, unblinking stillness of the lion. But a wall without an arsenal behind it is not a fortress. It is simply a very well-defended prison. Defensive boundaries are necessary to stop the bleeding, but they do not build empires. They do not multiply capital. To move from surviving your environment to actually dictating its terms, you must transition from defense to offense. You must acquire the heaviest, most unforgiving element of Machiavellian strategy, he called it, Virtù. Erase whatever Sunday school definition of the word virtue just appeared in your mind. Machiavelli was not writing about moral purity, chastity, or turning the other cheek. In his language, virtù translates roughly to raw, undeniable capability. It is the sheer force of will, intellect, and supreme competence required to impose your design on a chaotic world. He argued that human life is governed by two forces: fortune and virtù. Fortune is the raging river. It is the market crash, the sudden illness, the algorithm change, the unpredictable whims of the elite. You control none of it. But virtù is your ability to build the dam. It is the mechanical strategic superiority that allows you to bend the remaining 50% of reality to your absolute advantage. The modern internet has attempted to package this concept into a cheap, highly marketable cliché. They call it hustle. They call it mindset. Mindset without capability is just a costume. You can stand in front of a mirror every morning and recite affirmations about your inherent worth. You can adopt the aggressive posturing of an alpha male. You can consume thousands of hours of motivational content. But if your underlying skill set is common, easily replicated, and theoretically replaceable by a slightly cheaper candidate or a line of code, your mindset is nothing but a temporary delusion. Virtù is not frantic energy. It is not working 18-hour days to prove your dedication. Virtù is surgical. It is the quiet, obsessive acquisition of a skill so undeniable, so structurally critical to the people above you, that ignoring you becomes mathematically impossible. But there is a trap. A deeply psychological, socially reinforced trap designed specifically to neutralize your virtù before it can threaten the status quo. It is the weaponization of the word loyalty. Look around your corporate environment, your freelance network, or your business partnerships. Listen to the language that is used when the system wants to extract excess value without paying for it. We are a family here. We need you to be a team player. I know this is outside your scope, but I appreciate your loyalty to the vision. This is not loyalty, it is a psychological heist. The system uses the language of the tribe to trigger your deepest evolutionary desire for belonging, while operating with the cold, extractive logic of a machine. When a corporation or a client praises your loyalty, they are rarely praising your character. They are praising your willingness to be heavily discounted. Consider the archetype of the 10-year veteran employee. This person knows every system, handles every crisis, and bleeds for the company. They have been promised that their loyalty will eventually be rewarded. Then, a new director is hired from the outside. The external hire possesses half the institutional knowledge, yet they are brought in at a salary 40% higher than the loyal veteran. The veteran is devastated. They feel betrayed. They ask, how could they do this to me after everything I've given them? The velvet dagger truth is difficult to swallow, but it will set you free. The system did not betray the veteran. The system behaved exactly as it is designed to behave. The external hire was paid a premium because they possessed virtù. They possessed mobility. They possessed the leverage of walking away, which forced the company to court them, to bid for them, to meet their terms. The veteran, on the other hand, possessed dependency disguised as loyalty. The company already knew the veteran would never leave. They knew the veteran would accept the pizza party instead of the equity. Why would they pay a premium for a captive? Loyalty between unequals is never loyalty. It is simply compliance, true loyalty. The kind that Machiavelli respected, the kind that actually builds wealth and generational power, is a reciprocal arrangement between two dangerous equals. It is a choice made by a person who has the absolute capability to destroy the relationship or walk away, but consciously chooses not to because the exchange of value is mutually beneficial. If you do not have the leverage to leave, you are not being loyal. You are just stuck to cultivate true virtù. You must become a flight risk. I do not mean you should become erratic, unreliable, or untrustworthy. I mean you must become so highly skilled, so deeply embedded in the revenue-generating architecture of your environment, that your departure would cause an immediate, painful structural collapse for the people who employ you. And they must know it. You do not need to threaten them. You do not need to issue ultimatums. The threat is simply the quiet, radiant reality of your competence. It is the knowledge that your resume would be snatched up by their direct competitor in 24 hours. When you possess that level of virtù, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for your annual review to tentatively ask for a cost of living adjustment. You walk into the room and the gravity of your capability dictates the terms. They pay you not because they like you, and not because they are fair, but because the cost of losing you is a mathematical nightmare they cannot afford to entertain. This is the transition you must make. You must stop outsourcing your financial security to the benevolence of institutions that have no heart to break. You must stop waiting for the world to notice your silent sacrifices. Building virtù is unglamorous. It happens in the dark. It is the Friday nights you spend mastering a complex financial model while your peers are at the bar complaining about their bosses. It is the agonizing repetition of a high-value skill until it becomes second nature. It is the intentional curation of a network that exists entirely outside the control of your current employer. It requires you to kill the version of yourself that wants to be universally liked and replace it with a version of yourself that demands to be universally respected. Cost, built on the lethal foundation of Virtù, is the only currency the market cannot inflate, cannot manipulate, and cannot ignore. Near the end of his life, having lost his position, his wealth, and his standing, Machiavelli penned what is perhaps his most haunting observation about human nature. He abandoned the talk of princes and wars, and he spoke instead of a river. He wrote that fortune is like a violent, raging river. When it floods, it washes away the trees, ruins the buildings, and reshapes the earth itself. Everyone flees before it, entirely powerless to stop the war. But, he noted, the river is not always flooding. There are long, quiet seasons when the water is perfectly calm, and it is in these calm seasons that men reveal their true fatal flaw. Because the water is still, they rest. They enjoy the weather. They assume the calm is permanent. They do absolutely nothing to build the dikes, the dams, and the reinforced walls that would channel the water and protect their homes when the river eventually, inevitably rises again. This is the truest description of your financial and professional life you will ever hear. Opportunity, catastrophe, and leverage behave exactly like that river. The economy you operate in right now, the job you hold, the client roster you rely on, this is the calm season. The water is flowing gently. You have a routine. You feel a fragile, manufactured sense of safety. And because you feel safe, you are resting. You are spending your evenings recovering from the exhaustion of being the designated workhorse. You are scrolling, distracting yourself, waiting for permission, and hoping the current system continues to reward your quiet loyalty. You are not building the dike. When the flood comes, and it is a mathematical certainty that it will come, whether in the form of an industry layoff, an AI disruption, a corporate restructuring, or a major client walking away, it will be too late to start carrying stones. You cannot learn to swim when the water is already above your head, and you cannot negotiate for your survival when you have absolutely zero leverage to stand on. The people who survive the floods, the ones who seem to miraculously float to the top while everyone else is drowning, are not luckier than you. They simply spent the calm season doing the dark, unglamorous work of building undeniable capability. They built their Virtù in the shadows. They mastered a secondary skill set. They built a network outside of their employer's walls. They practiced the agonizing silence of the lion in the mirror before they ever needed it in the boardroom. This brings us to the ultimate synthesis of everything we have discussed, the final shift in your operating system. When you strip away the moral ledger, when you break the competence curse, when you master the fox and the lion, what are you left with? Most people fear that adopting this philosophy will turn them into a cold, ruthless tyrant. They fear they will lose their humanity. But that is the great irony of power. Only those who possess leverage have the luxury of being genuinely kind. When you have no leverage, your kindness is just a survival mechanism. Your warmth is a bribe. You are nice to your clients and managers because you are terrified they will destroy you if you are not. It is an act of submission. But when you become structurally necessary, when you possess a skill the market desperately needs, and you know exactly how to enforce your boundaries, your kindness transforms. It is no longer a plea for safety. It becomes a sovereign choice. You can be generous, you can be warm, and you can be collaborative, precisely because you do not have to be. You do not need to bang your fist on the table. You do not need to adopt a fake, aggressive persona. True power is perfectly calm. It is unbothered. It is the deep cellular knowing that you are the architect of your own stability and that no one else holds the pen to your future. To anchor this transformation, I am going to give you the single paradoxical law that governs all human interaction in the marketplace. Write it down, burn it into your memory. Let it be the lens through which you view every negotiation for the rest of your life. To guarantee you are treated with humanity, you must engineer a situation where treating you unfairly is mathematically too expensive. You do not demand respect through emotional appeals. You construct it through structural reality. You make crossing you, underpaying you, or disrespecting you a financial and logistical nightmare for the other party. Once you do that, you will be amazed at how quickly the world decides to be fair to you. Before you click away and return to the gentle flow of the calm river, you must brutally diagnose your current position. I want you to ask yourself these 5 questions. Do not soften the answers. Let the discomfort do its work. Question 1. If you completely stopped answering emails at 5 o'clock and refused to work weekends, would you be fired, or would your company finally be forced to confront the massive amount of invisible labor you have been subsidizing? Question 2. In your primary source of income right now, are you positioned as a structural necessity, or are you simply an agreeable convenience? Question 3. How many times in the last 30 days have you negotiated against yourself, lowering your price or extending a deadline before the other person even asked, just to avoid the friction of a standoff? Question 4. If your current employer or biggest client vanished tomorrow, do you possess a portable, high-leverage skill that another player in the market would immediately bid for? Question 5. Are you playing a game of morality, or are you finally ready to play the game of leverage? If you flinched at any of those answers, your nervous system is finally waking up. Do not sedate it. Use it. Take that discomfort and forge it into capability. The calm season is ending. The water is already beginning to move. Type "I build the Dike" in the comments below if you are officially done outsourcing your survival to a system that does not care about your moral ledger. Saying it publicly is the first stone you lay against your own hesitation. It is a declaration of your new identity. This is Velvet Dagger. We do not deal in temporary motivation, and we do not deal in comforting illusions. We deal in the mechanics of power, the architecture of leverage, and the cold truths that actually set you free. If you have the stomach to stop being prey and start learning how the board is actually played, subscribe. Dissect the psychology of authority every single week. Stop waiting for the universe to reward your quiet suffering. Command the leverage and build the Dike.